Honorable Aisha, Lope has been disturbing.
Right, Speaker, I don't know what transpired between you and my elope. I'll leave that to you. Right, Honorable Speaker, I was bringing it to your attention that it is my privilege as a Member of Parliament to have an opportunity to attend sittings and deliberate on issues on behalf of my people. But the last parliamentary sitting, Right, Honorable Speaker, I was carried out of house in a very brutal way. My dress was torn. I was actually stripped. Speaker, you've been just spoken about gender violence. I would like to tell you that the way I was carried is dehumanizing, because at one point I was actually being carried by men out of this house. I was denied the opportunity to represent my people. At that point, I want to describe, at one point, men carried me one leg on the right, another leg on the left, just spreading my legs. My dress was completely torn. Right, Honorable Speaker, when I was thrown out of that house, the door behind you, I was actually carried what they describe to be jack by the jack. It's easy to carry a man by the jack. Carrying by the jack is holding someone by the pants. But carrying a woman by the pants, Right, Honorable Speaker, you know what it feels like. Right, Honorable Speaker, two things. Number one, I was denied the opportunity to stay in the house and represent my people. Two, my people were disenfranchised. I should have been here to speak for my people. 100,000 people from Butambala were disenfranchised. You may not have known, it's not only me who was taken out of this house without your directive, because Honorable Charles from Busiro, who had not been suspended from this house, was also carried out, so his people were equally disenfranchised. Right, Honorable Speaker, the point of privilege number one I'm raising is I'm wondering why I was denied the opportunity to represent my people in this house at the time when I needed my voice most. Number two, Right, Honorable Speaker, my dress was torn, and I want to lay on table for purposes of investigation. Right, Honorable Speaker, you've been speaking about gender violence. We must walk the talk. We should not only talk about things that we're unable to do. This dress had been bought that day when I was coming to Parliament. I was coming from the constituency, and I didn't have time to go to my home to dress up. I quickly went to the shops to buy something. This tearing is at the breast part, at the breast pass. If someone tears a dress at the breast part, by this time you can wonder where my breasts were. A Muslim woman who covers herself and only leaves out the face and the palm. This dress was also torn from the lower part up this point. All the thighs were spread out. Right, Honorable Speaker, why I want to lay this on table is for you to direct an investigation on who are the people that laid hands on me in a way that was so dehumanizing. For a member of Parliament, not outside Parliament, but in this August House. With your permission, Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay my dress.
First, don't lay it, because I've not. Honourable members, I made a statement in the last sitting that I did suspend members, and when I suspended the members, I did not order for any arrest of any person. I suspended the members, they left, and what Honorable Aisha can do is to bring a substantive motion to that effect on what happened today. You don't have to lay, because you need a substantive motion on that. And as I said the other time, I left the chambers, and I'm happy you know that I left the chambers. I came back. I don't know what happened. Huh?
Right, Honorable Speaker, I don't know what the motion would speak to. I only pray that your office investigates on who else rules this parliament other than the rules and yourself.
That is exactly what the motion should say, that there should be an investigation to what happened. It is simple, Hajat. Bring a motion.
Okay. Madam
Yes,
Speaker,
yes,
Madam
Honorable
Speaker,
Maki.
I really want to thank the Parliament for their prayers and your help. That 2 days ago, Honorable Odero Were, the Member of Parliament for Ssemujju South, got a terrible accident and one person died. Madam Speaker, I rose appreciate you that we called you at the time that we wanted help and you really...
He's on procedure. No, he's on procedure.
I am on a procedure matter. And so I really want to thank you on behalf of the people of Besigy'es district and the people of Uganda. And this, Madam Speaker, calls government to see that it must take attention on our roads. The state of roads are very, very bad. This morning I passed Mavira, it was...
Hajat, first of all, before you go ahead, Hajat, I feel what you feel, and I must say, whatever happened to you, we are with you as women.
Thank you so
We
much.
are with you as women, and whatever happened, I don't know who did it, but I must say, sorry for whatever happened, but as a woman, I feel what you feel.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank
Madam
you so
Speaker,
much.
as I summarize, I was still on floor.
Macho.
No, it is okay. Let him finish. Hajat.
Madam Speaker, I was still at the same time going to also sympathize with Hajat. And it says that we are in the month of gender-based violence. The rights of women of this country must be respected in case it happened. Because the mother of a nation is through the foundation of every country. I really want to thank you also at the same time. I see our parliament has changed, looks like a House of Lords. This makes Uganda as a country very proud. And thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Lob.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Maybe before Lob says something, honorable members, kindly, this is a festival season. Just imagine when you're driving, everybody out there is not okay. He's also rushing for something else. Let's drive carefully. We almost lost a member this weekend, and the member has been hospitalized.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to join you firstly in commiserating with our colleague who was involved in an accident. Sadly, I learned somebody passed on in that car. We pray that he recuperates soon, our colleague, so he can rejoin us. Honorable Speaker, I also want to welcome you back as you welcome us back from a mini recess of sorts. I see what has changed here. The lights are very bright. I am hoping these are the kind of lights that cannot be switched off, because the last time we were here, all of a sudden it became dark, and there was fire and brimstone here. So I am glad the lights are brighter. Hopefully they'll remain brighter and that they are the kind which can be switched off. Unfortunately, though, Right Honorable Speaker, normally I'm able to see my friend, the Prime Minister, and we have some chats across. Now there is a wall. I'm not able to see the Prime Minister very easily. Normally I'm close to the Speaker, and now the Speaker has been taken the other side. There's lots of changes we're trying to, but I'm glad. I also want to welcome back our colleagues, the media, who are part of us as an institution. Rule 31 provides for the fact that the public ought to follow the goings on here, because we deliberate here on behalf of the public. And the only way they can follow is when the media is present. Last time they were not. Right Honourable Speaker, I have two very quick issues for your ruling. They're slightly unrelated, but I'll make them quick. One of those, Right Honourable Speaker, is I'm seeking through your office that government would help us understand something that's seemingly convoluted of late. Ugandans travel within the East African community, and it should be freely anyhow. But government has severally been picking people, especially from Kenya, who have traveled. The first lot went for a training. They were picked and brought back. Most recently, a senior opposition leader in this country, your former leader, Right Honourable Speaker, Dr. Besigy'es, was picked from Nairobi, Kenya, by Ugandan security operatives who brought him here, and now he's before the court martial. Many things confused me, even as a lawyer, that I thought government would probably elucidate on, so that we have a good understanding. Even those of us who are trying to understand the legalities, to know on behalf of the country how this gets to happen, that it can be okay for people to continuously be picked from a neighboring country. I had one of the issues they were raising was he was found with a gun in Kenya, and I kept thinking, but jurisdiction-wise, that doesn't work. It should be Kenya to complain. So many questions, and yet the answers are too few. I thought government would help us understand. Has this become the modus operandi? As citizens who normally travel to these other countries?
Honourable Lope, as I had already said, there is a statement to that effect coming from Honourable Ssemujju, and he actually served it to my office.
Thank you. I'm glad my colleague, who, by the way, just returned from jail, I'm on procedure, Honourable, and procedure takes precedence, sir. Thank you very much. As I was saying, Honourable Ssemujju is a victim, so he'll have a lot to share with us. But I thought I should throw that out, and my colleague will elucidate. The second issue, which will be the final issue, Right Honourable Speaker, on 6th of November, we're here deliberating on a couple of things for the good of our people. Right Honourable Speaker, I made certain remarks, especially in reference to remarks you had made during the coffee bill discussion, and I said that in my considered view, the remarks which had been made by yourself were tribal, in my considered view. Honourable Speaker, you said that you will only apologize, and you challenged me, and I took up the challenge. You said that you can only apologize if I table evidence showing that you made remarks which were tribal, in my view. I thought, who am I to be challenged by the Speaker and he don't follow through? Honourable Speaker, I have carried some evidence which I want to table. You will look at it and examine it. It's both on CD and flash disk, which has got videos.
Where is the origin of that?
Of remarks that you made.
Where is the origin of that?
The origin is the national broadcaster, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. But Right Honourable Speaker, you examine them, and you'll give your ruling.
My love.
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker.
Don't go on a fishing expedition.
No, I am not.
Because when you get what is being broadcasted there, it is not what I have said. The broadcaster is broadcasting its own things. It is not, if you want, go to the Hansard. That is, go to the Hansard and get it from there, and it will be authentic. And I can assure you, once you have it and it is authentic, this country has my apology.
But most obliged. That's why I said, you see, even in court, we table evidence, and then there can be a ruling on the evidence. So when you asked me for evidence, I have just executed my duty to table. We're going to examine it, Right Honourable Speaker. Finally, Right Honourable Speaker,
Honourable Member, incidentally, that statement of yours that day was expunged from the Hansard. There was nobody to elaborate on it, and you had already left the house. But going back to coffee bill, you've gone back to the coffee bill. Actually, the coffee prices have gone up.
Right, Honourable Speaker, as I wrap up.
Honourable members, what Honourable Ssemujju wants to raise, first give him time.
Let me just
It's a
wrap up
very
and my
serious
colleague comes
matter.
on. I'm just wrapping up, Right Honourable Speaker, with the final issue. And you have actually mentioned what I wanted to say, that Honourable Speaker, you expunged remarks from the Hansard about a claim that I made of security operatives raiding the chambers of Parliament after the media was chased away, lights switched off, and our colleagues, including women, were bundled up by men and all of that. And I said, Right Honourable Speaker, who are these who, in my view, were security operatives? And you said that that was a defamatory statement because these were not operatives. I said, well, good enough, the Speaker is our leader here. There are cameras here who can help us understand who raided this place, who manhandled Honorable Aisha and all the other people that were manhandled. And again, I know that there are cameras in here, but I said I'll still put it on recording. I have a CD here and a flash disk of people who raided these, our chambers, and manhandled people for you to examine and help us understand who were these. Because even right now, Right Honourable Speaker, you have said you don't know who these were. That actually worried me the most, because you are the head of this institution, you are our leader, and our safety is to a great extent your responsibility. So if my Speaker does not know who raided this place and manhandled members of Parliament, I am actually very worried. And I'm hoping that, Honourable Speaker, you'll follow it up, because the evidence is here, as I have tabled it, for you to follow up and help us understand. Because if my Speaker doesn't know, then who knows? I thank you.
Honourable Law, that evidence is not admissible. What is admissible is on official report. That is under Rule 228. What you could do, please write to the Clerk of Parliament and ask the Clerk of Parliament for all what happened in the proceedings of Parliament on that day. So please do that. In the public gallery, we have VIP public gallery. This afternoon we have Honorable Bitangaro Samuel, former Member of Parliament of Bufumbira South. You're most welcome. He's accompanied by his spouse Barbara. Most welcome. They are here to witness grace take an oath. You're most welcome. In the public gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of family members, relatives, and friends who have come to witness the swearing in of Grace, woman member of Parliament elect for Kisoro District. Please stand up. You're most welcome. She's now the member of Parliament who was elected for Kisoro. Now member of Parliament. Grace, congratulations, and you're most welcome. Join me in welcoming them. In the public gallery, we have Rukoba United Group from Lower Madi constituency. That is Madiokolo. Madiokolo, you're most welcome. They are represented by Honorable Afidra Olema Ronald, Honorable Kia Joan Aniku, and Honorable Etuka Isaac. You're most welcome, and thank you so much for coming all the way from West Nile. You greet your people.
Hello. Right Honourable Speaker, it's a great pleasure for me, together with my honourable colleagues, to take this distinguished honour to see my own who made me what I am and who sent me in this house, being present to witness the proceedings of the House being chaired by you. Madam Speaker and honourable members, the group you see here are the group of young men who survive out of young men and women who make out of tires, use tires, and they make it into different items. And this is how they survive. They pay school fees with, they make their lives ends meet with. And it is out of that they made their contributions to support me. I'm so grateful for you. This is the parliament you sent me to, and you sent the rest of the team here too. I look forward to 2026 being sent back. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me also take this opportunity to welcome you and the rest of the colleagues from the short recess we have been in. Madam Speaker, in your communication, you have indicated that you would like us to present the budget framework paper at an earliest opportunity. I wish to inform the House that preparations are underway, and from our side, we should be able to lay the budget framework paper on Thursday, 12th December 2024. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Honorable members in the public gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation from Malera Sub-County Local Government Council 3, that is Bukedea District, composed of councillors, elders, and technical staff. They are represented by the speaker of the LOC 3s, and then the sub-county deputy speaker, Honorable Lupo Joan. They are represented here by Honorable Ikoyo John Bosco and me, my good self. Join me in welcoming my people. They are the reason why I'm here. And Mama, bring me back and post. Honorable Ibrahim.
I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Rule 54, I'm seeking your guidance. Rule 54, statements by members. It says that any statement by a member shall be presented on Thursday. Today is a Tuesday. Madam Speaker, again, Rule 73 talks about sub judice rule. We already have an intimation on what he's going to present. And
Why
the case is already in court.
why are you legislating in anticipation?
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Leader of Opposition was mentioning a matter related to what you stopped him to actually conclude, and you said Honorable Ssemujju is going to raise. But that matter, why I wanted to raise it at that time, is that the matter is in court. So I'm wondering whether we are not against Rule 73.
Honorable member, out of respect, let's listen to each other and we'll get a ruling to that effect. We'll get a ruling to that effect. And let's not legislate in anticipation.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you. The colleague raising a point of procedure, I told you he is our neighbor in my village. He has not been able to shed off his old habits of what this is. Madam Speaker, This statement,
give us the statement.
this statement, Madam Speaker, on abduction of Dr. Kizza Besigye from Nairobi, Kenya, November 16th, 2024. Right, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I am presenting this statement in line with Rule 25 L and M 59 and 64. Right, Honorable Speaker, Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, former Forum for Democratic Change president, four-time presidential candidate, and now one of the promoters of the People's Front for Freedom, was abducted from Nairobi, Kenya on November 16, 2024. He had traveled to Nairobi on the invitation of NARC Kenya political party leader and former Kenyan Justice Minister Martha Karua. Dr. Besigye was scheduled to speak at Martha Karua's book Against the Tide launch. He, together with Ajobed Lutare Kamuregeya, a senior PFF leader, was abducted from a riverside apartment in Eastland, where he was attending a brief meeting before proceeding for dinner for Karua's book launch guests. He was then driven across borders by his captors. His passports, national ID, wallet, and other belongings remained at Warid Hotel, where he had been booked in. Dr. Besigye did not, or was not made to undergo immigration protocols on the Kenyan or Ugandan immigration sites. News of his missing started circulating 3 days after his abduction on Tuesday, November 19th. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, Dr. Besigy'es was then miraculously arraigned before the Military Disciplinary Committee, commonly known as court martial, on Wednesday, November 20th. Charges of possession of 2 pistols, which were learned that day that is a monopoly of UPDF, were read to him and he is co-accused. They also charged with holding meetings in Switzerland, Greece, and Nairobi for purposes of undermining the security of Uganda. Right, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the abduction of Dr. Besigye has been condemned widely by the UN, lawyers, human rights defenders, the organizations and individuals. Even the Uganda Human Rights Commission has condemned this abduction and demanded for Besigye's immediate release. I call upon you, Madam Speaker, and the House to join the world in condemning this heinous crime of abduction. Condemned because there are laws, international and domestic, that govern extradition and deportation. The Ugandan, Kenyan, and international laws were all in this case not followed. Only criminals can do this. You may not be concerned with Besigye, but be concerned with the state continuing to act criminally. I want to emphasize that point. You may not be concerned with Besigye, but you should be concerned with the state continuing to act criminally. Madam Speaker, I raised the issue of the 36 PF members that were abducted from Kisumu in this House. They were handcuffed and driven across borders in similar manner. The 3 women who were part of this group were not allowed to ease themselves for 14 hours. When they were finally allowed, it is male soldiers that were pulling their knickers and ordered them to urinate as they remained handcuffed. They were later charged with terrorism. Madam Speaker and members, We are concerned with the continuing human rights violations by the NRM government, including ministers working in jails and making people to confess to crimes they have not committed, and then getting the NRM chairman to pardon them. All things concern us, and they should concern every MP. This parliament should also demand for an explanation from Kenya. Even Chris was abducted. I went to see him at Ginger Road. They had denied him simple things, including slippers. That giant is there. This parliament, Madam Speaker, should also demand for an explanation from Kenya. You know, he was representing us in finding out how the Honorable Nevanda died. They charged him with stealing body parts.
Is that a part of your statement?
No, I was reminding him to sit down and listen to the statement. It is not part of the statement.
Maybe you wanted to compliment
I am
on
sorry,
what?
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker and members, we are concerned with continuing human rights violations by the NRM government. This must stop. We demand for an explanation from government, Madam Speaker. This parliament should also demand for an explanation from Kenya, whether it still subscribes to the East African Community Brotherhood. The ministers of internal affairs, who heads immigration, foreign affairs, and defense, Madam Speaker, must be made to explain to this parliament this incident and to the country. Madam Speaker, I thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Government?
Right Honorable Speaker,
You'll come. Let him first respond.
I am alive to the fact that the issue substantially raised by Honorable Ssemujju Nganda is a matter before a court established through an act of parliament, the UPDF Act. What I can confirm on behalf of government is what is already in the public domain, that Colonel retired Dr. Kiza Besigy'es arrested, produced in court, charged, and remanded to lose their appearance, and he will be availed back to court on the 2nd of December 2024. On the call for condemnation, I wish to persuade my honorable colleague that that may be too early, because the matter before court will be a subject of evidence, subject of prosecution, and the outcome definitely will be known. It may be too early for us to condemn. But what I can also advise is that, honorable colleague, let us accept to always play within the rules. Honorable Ssemujju and myself, we always play within the rules. At times, you invite the referee to warn you verbally. At times, you are given a yellow card. But if you are an habitual offender, you are red carded. Let us advise fellow countrymen and women to always play within the rules. Because the question is, just like Balotelli scored against Manchester United and pulled the t-shirt written on, why always me scoring against Manchester United? Why always you and not me and not her? Why always you? That must be a fundamental question. I beg to submit.
Yes, counsel. Not the junior counsel, the senior.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you. I have listened to the response of the government chief whip, and we are all aware that this is
the matter before court. There are, however, two fundamental issues that government should make a statement on, clarify. And that relates to our relationship with Kenya, especially in light of the fact that we have an extradition treaty with that country. How safe are Ugandans? Now, that is outside the purview of sub judice, if we really want to hide under that. Number two, this element of...
Honorable Basalirwa, government will make a statement without going to the merits of the case. Okay? Government will make a statement. You should come with a statement without going into the merits of the case.
I thank you for that, because I didn't hear the government chief whip undertake to make a statement. But as they come, they must also, Right Honourable Speaker, comment on the apparent illegalities of people or a supposed criminal, as you want to describe him, or suspect, being brought back into the country and does not undergo the due immigration processes. To wit, having their documents stamped by immigration officers, because that in itself is criminal under our laws. So those are things you must really comment on for purposes of assuring the country that whatever happened was undertaken in total observance and adherence to the immigration laws and other laws as they exist in our region. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Defense will bring a statement to that effect. Let's not discuss what is before court. Let's not discuss that. In the VIP gallery this afternoon, we have Honorable Ambassador William Chinobe. Chinobe, a former member of Parliament of Katkamu North, is Kinobe James, accompanied by his spouse, Mrs. Mary Chinobe. They are here to witness the swearing in of Honorable Grace Akifesa. You're most welcome. And thank you for coming. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I've lived for a while in this country. I saw recently...
the minister bringing a statement is not actually defense, internal affairs and foreign. Yes?
Not so long ago, Right Honourable Speaker, we had a case of Jamil Mukuru, who was arrested in Tanzania for terrorism, and the due process was followed for him to be brought back to face trial in the country. Right Honourable Speaker, just not so long ago, we had a big problem in this country with our neighbors Rwanda, where the top police officers were arrested and court-martialed for allegedly participating in the abduction of Rwandans who were in Uganda. Right Honourable Speaker, that should form the framework for today's discussion. Right Honourable Speaker, how have we degenerated that as a country? I don't know what is happening to those manning the security of this country. Why is the things that we thought would not happen, we are now forming the headlines on BBC, on international media?
Search,
Yes, yes.
Search. Honorable Search. I thought we had made a ruling on that to wait for the report and then we discuss the report.
Most obliged, Right Honourable Speaker. But there are those that attack the innocent conscience of Ugandans that may not wait. If the government was proactive, they would even have demanded to be placed on the order paper, but they have not. And once they keep quiet, we have no any other option but to put it to government and those manning our security
That's why
circles.
we have put it to government to bring an explanation to that effect.
Yes, but to show that even this side, we are not complicit with what happens. That abuse of the due process, right, Honourable Speaker and members, should cut across the entire Parliament.
Thank you.
We can't see what is
Mama
happening,
Mabera.
is going
Mama
back
Mabera.
to what happened in the 80s. And
Yes.
the ministers, you can't see it when this is happening.
There's
Okay,
a-
then come and tell the country.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. You have already guided on the matter that the government comes up with a statement without touching on matters of sub judice. So I think we can have a debate when that statement comes. But why I rose was clarified because the Honourable Ssemujju Nganda, yes, he is, made an assertion that I was abducted by government. And that's because I stole body parts. I just wanted to clarify for the record that in the 9th Parliament, our colleague, the Honorable Serena Nebanda, died. May her soul continue to rest in peace. And I was a parliamentary commissioner then. And the parliamentary commission and the family and police, we had a tripartite arrangement in establishing the cause of death. But in the process, the state saw that some of the steps we took, especially to send samples outside the country, normal practice in the medical profession, the state thought that it was irregular and unlawful. And indeed, I was arrested. Yes, arrested together with other colleagues. We appeared in the court for 9 months, and the court ruled that we had no case to answer. The Honorable Katuntu was my lawyer. So I just wanted to clarify.
Actually, Brenda was your
surety, yes. So I just wanted to clarify that I was not abducted, but I was arrested and I didn't steal. I didn't steal. And I stated then that I'm a medical professional and I knew what I was doing was correct. But I went through the due process and I was declared innocent.
Thank you.
And therefore, the Honorable Ssemujju, from now onwards, just know, I have no regrets, I'm not angry, I'm not annoyed, but I follow the due process of the law. So, like the Chief Whip has said, we all talk of respect for the rule of law. Since our senior brother, Dr. Besigy'es, has been produced in the court, let's leave the process to take its course without Parliament injuring that process.
Hello.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, it's good you have ruled that government should come with a comprehensive statement on this matter. I want to suggest an addition in that statement. Honourable Speaker, the Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary of Kenya, Mr. Songei Korir, at a press conference said Kenya had no involvement whatsoever in the arrest of Dr. Kizza Besigye. Government should explain to us how then it went to Kenya without the authorization of Kenya and pick up Dr. Kizza Besigye. Because the Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary mentioned that. I think it will be important for that explanation to come through. Because Uganda can't keep going wherever and picking people. But also, Honourable Speaker, I think you need to guide government on when they should bring this statement. Otherwise, they might take donkey's years conveniently and not bring that statement.
I have asked the Minister of Internal Affairs to bring the report and Foreign Affairs, but as of yesterday, I got a letter from Honorable Muhose saying it's going to be out up to Friday. So can we have the statement on Tuesday?